So Crystal Palace are officially the worst form side in the night of the 92 Football League teams in 2016. Puts them alongside the likes of, we got this right, of York, Dagenham, Villa, MK Dons and Rotherham, two of those sides of which dropped out of the Football League in the last season as well. So it does beg the question, why is no one talking about Alan Pardew getting the sack? Is he unsackable?
I think now a lot of Palace fans who I speak to are now getting him to the point where they want him to go. They kind of let him off with last year because they thought that they were going to win the FA. Or they tried to win the FA Cup and he was almost focusing, on that for a while. And he said himself, once they got to Christmas and they had a great run and they were pretty much safe by Christmas. Yeah. Because they fell off a cliff and they still stayed up by a couple of points because they had that good a start. All their eggs were in the FA Cup basket, but they never won it. And then they started this season and they've been absolutely terrible. And now they're a point above relegation, with having spent a record amount of money on a striker. He's now, I think he's the most under pressure manager now in the league. It was probably the guy at Swansea, but I'm not sure Bob Bradley, although he's only been there 2 weeks, he might be under pressure in a few weeks anyway. But
there was a pressure on Mark Hughes for a while. He seemed to turn around. Bilic is sort of starting to equalise a bit at West Ham.
But Palace, they've been dreadful. And considering they went out and bought a new centre half and a new centre forward,
the goalie,
and a new goalie, and they're still crap.
Palace are the type of team though that,
and a winger, sorry, I understand that.
They go through real mad spells of form, don't they? They'll win 6 or 7 out of 10, and then they'll lose 5 or 6 in a row. Like as you said, last season, first half of the season, fantastic. Second half of the season, absolutely dreadful.
Is that Palace or is that Pardew?
Well, it's hard to know, isn't it? Because
they were when we were going up, they were the ultimate yo-yo team.
Yeah.
In terms of the Premier League, they were always up and down.
I thought I know Palace fans on Twitter, and I know they absolutely hate him. And not only hate him, you think he's a cringy bastard as well, which he is. Him and the fucking owner could do a new version of Diamond Lights. They're just the worst Cockney wide boys. They're just awful, aren't they? They might be nice human beings, I don't know. But as football
not
people...
Interested to know
I'm not interested. Football people, they're just dickheads. So... No, I think they'll come out of it. I think they'll finish 12th, 13th, 14th, around that. And if you're a Palace fan, at this stage, you should be quite happy with that because, as you said, they were a yo-yo club, and as long as they cement themselves in the Premier League for 3 or 4 years, get themselves stable. I think what they might have done this season is try to push on too quickly, what sometimes happens.
But the problem, I think, is that they've tried to push on. They've spent the money. Look, there's a lot of money floating around the Premier League, so it was there to be spent. Fair play. Some clubs used it to keep older stars. They've gone out and picked some up. I think this is the style of football they're trying to play. I mean, I get it. Like, people were criticising Liverpool for not using Benteke properly, but I think there's a limit to what you can achieve in the Premier League by having a big, powerful target man and playing high, long balls in from deep. I think there's a ceiling to what you can achieve in the Premier League.
Don't you think they tried to change the style with buying Kabay and having a centre midfielder who tried to move the ball around really well? I think they moved too fast by bringing him in. I think they tried to change that style too quickly. Maybe what they've done is gone back a couple of, gone down the ladder a couple of runs and are trying to find the middle ground.
The issue is when they've got a team full of good players. I think there's a lot of good players. I like the two centre halves. I like Townsend's a good player, Zaha's good, Kabay's good, Punchin's good, Benteke's good. They're playing less than the sum of their parts, which means that does become the manager's fault. Yeah. So they're on a similar level to Hull in terms of points in the table. Now Hull have got bang average players. They've probably got one half decent player probably. Where Palace have got 5, 6, 7. That becomes the manager. That's on the manager. And he'll swap and change a lot. So he'll bring one in, take one out, bring one in, and nothing he does seems to be working at the moment. He's at a point now where everything he's tried to do hasn't worked. So he dropped Townsend, he's played him on the left, he's played him on the right, he's brought Connor Wickham on in games to go 2 up front, and everything he does isn't working, which either means there's a bad culture at the club and something's wrong, or the players don't believe in what he's telling them, or basically they just need a fresh change, and it might be the fact that he has to go. And sorry, very quickly, last one is they've only recently got new American owners as well. They've just come in. Now they're not going to stand for the relegation battle, are they? There's no way they're the first year that they've been in charge of Palace, they're going to risk their team going down. It's just automatically
Maybe they don't know
so
you
much
can
money.
go down.
They're not aware of relegation.
Yeah.
But so I think he's got 1 or 2 games left.
You put pressure on yourself.
Do you think it's that bad?
I don't think it's that bad. Like, I think it should be that
They've
bad.
lost 5 on the run.
Well, they've also not kept
though.
a clean sheet in 17 games as well, which is astounding.
They left 4 in against us. It was 3 the week before. They let 2 in. They're just not playing. They're not scoring. They're not keeping goals. And if I think if Swansea beat them, I think they'd sack them.
Really?
Yeah. If you get beat to Swansea,
What do you reckon, James?
I think you're right. I think that's the best Palace team they've probably ever seen in terms of personnel. So he should be doing better.
Early, I mean, you're too young, but early,
No. All right, no, I understand. No, sorry.
Early 80s, they had a very
Again,
good
it's
side.
goal.
In fact, in the early 80s, they talked
Sorry,
about...
I forgot who I was chatting
They talked
with.
about...
I mean, in the last
sorry.
few years.
Since
Probably works with all the children and thoughts himself, doesn't it?
1992.
1992, 93, did they go down? Yes, they did. So it could have been that good a
I
team
have
then.
no fucking idea.
Well, they did. Because
We're
QPR
not
finished
separate
fifth.
relegation.
So
is
I
either.
do know that. But no, if you think of the names they've got there, they've got an exciting team there.
right.
They do have an exciting team there.
Is it though? Is it that good?
I think
Are we
it is.
making more
I think
of
they're
it?
missing, from what I've read.
Is it
Christian
that good?
Benteke is good, Townsend's good, Kabai's good.
Are they really good though?
Dan's good.
I mean, no, genuinely though.
I think Hennessey's
No,
a good
is Townsend
goalkeeper.
really good? Because I don't think he is that good. I think he's just one of those players who looks good occasionally. Kabai's a decent player, but he doesn't fit in with their style. Benteke, as you have said,
He was their player of the year last year, wasn't he, Kabay?
he's on the bench now.
Zaha's good, I think.
Is he though?
Yeah.
Is
I
he
think-
though?
I think
Because
he is a good
all
player.
these players, honestly, no,
I think you could go either
take
way,
a step
Ange,
back. All
to
these
be honest.
players have failed when they've moved to big clubs. So are they good players? That's the question mark, isn't it? They're well known. They're good in fits and starts. But are they consistent players?
Well, I think they're all. I think they've got a team of good quality Premier League. I think it's a good.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
agree.
saying you win the title with Andrew
Yeah.
Townsend, but I don't think there's as many. Well,
Okay,
let's
they
use
all
the
are.
full example.
No, they all are. They're all very inconsistent players. Now, if you put a lot of very inconsistent players together,
Under Alan
you're going to have a
Pardew.
very inconsistent team.
You need your manager.
Just nailed
There
it.
you go. Football win.
You need that, but then isn't that when you need your manager to do something?
Well, I'll ask you
that's
another
what it
question.
is,
Though, they sacked him today. Who would you get?
Oh, you put me on the spot there right away.
Bobby Martinez.
I'll be on the phone. The first
He's got a
fella.
fucking great job.
I know he has, doesn't he?
Fucking hell.
Him and Thierry on me.
Get Big
Yeah,
Sam in.
Allardyce.
Big Sam to keep them in.
You're not on this show. Shut up.
I like, and whether he'd do it or not, whether he could be asked, or whether it's too small. I like Mancini, and he's still about. They'd have to pay him a fortune.
Yeah, imagine Mancini.
But this is the problem, isn't it? You've got to sack someone when it's right to go and get the name that's available. And for me, I don't.
I think you're right. I think what Palace would probably end up with
Hodgson?
is one of those.
Terry Venables.
Jesus, is one of those the seventh best manager in France or Spain
whoever's
or
the
whatever.
flavour of the month in the championship
Or rather,
at the
what's
moment.
the flavour of the month in terms of which country is
Jimmy Floyd
producing a type
Hasselbank.
of manager? So they'd probably go to Germany and get someone who's managing someone mid-table in the Bundesliga or something like that because they kind of want to capture what's happening with Klopp, or they go and get someone who's a mini Conte or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what happens with
Because
teams like Palace.
that fits your point, is that there isn't, I don't think is overly that many people there
Wagner.
for him. One thing I would say is that actually the problem for me is their defence. I think Ward's a decent right back, but then I think Tompkins is okay. Again, he's another Premier League.
He's garbage. He's
All right,
not
fine.
garbage.
And then
He's garbage. He's garbage. He never
Okay.
made it at West Ham. He's garbage.
Delaney's probably not good enough for that level.
No, he's
and
shit.
Suarez is
Scott Dan's
obviously out.
Scott Dan.
Yeah.
I like Scott Dan.
And Martin Kelly's crap.
Sorry,
Yeah,
Scott
Man
Dan.
Kelly's awful, and he can't sort the goal out either. He's brought Hennessey back in at the weekend.
Well, Mandanda's injured, but,
Oh well, whatever.
but he hasn't saved. But he hasn't saved many shots. So
But the reason he probably hasn't been sacked is a bit like, I think it's quite interesting with Ian Holloway with QPR. Some people think he's a bit of a joke,
I
but he's
wondered how long it would take
you
him
wanted
to
to get
drop
it in.
Ian Holloway in.
No, but it is interesting because I was reading an article.
What league's that?
It's in the Championship.
Sorry.
I was reading an article, and the guy was absolutely hammering
Best
Holloway.
second division in world football. Agree?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't really watch second divisions. I
Anyway.
think we've made this point very
Go
clear.
on, let's let James make his point and then
Okay.
let's move
My
on.
point is that Holloway is seen as a bit of a joke by certain clubs. I think Palace fans don't overly like him. Mill fans definitely don't like him. But QPR fans absolutely love him. And there's the same kind of thing with Steve McLaren, seen as an absolute joke. But at Derby, they quite like him because he was a player there. He was assistant with Jim Smith and all those things. So although some Palace
Pardew has
fans
the
don't like it,
connection.
he's got the connection, which will give him a bit more time to give him a chance, and that's why I don't think he's 2 games away.
I think if they lose to Swansea, yes,
I think the major question is,
I've done now. I've got
do
my
Palace
pen.
You've got your point
do
out
Palace
there.
have a drummer?
Possibly.
Fuck him off first.
I don't think the fans. I don't think the fans the noise they make is the problem.
No, but just drummers.
If I'm honest.
Just drummers.
Just drummers. I
Just
think
drummers.
I think England should be. We should be setting the bar.
Always sack the drummer first. No Gallagher knew that. That's the way.
It's true, yeah.
You just always because they do fuck
Get
all.
rid of the Tony McCallum
Yeah.
of Palace.
Well,
and then
Oasis
get your
never,
Alan White.
Oasis
in
never
and
had a
your
settled drummer, and yet they were always a good band.
There you go.
And I think that says
That's
everything.
the answer, Alan Pardew. If you're watching,
Sack your
drummer. Let us know your thoughts. Is Pardew next up for the sack? Do you think he's only got a game or 2 in him, or is he, as the title suggested, which I thought we were going to get more agreement on, is he unsackable? I blame Flav. I think he put that title forward. It was me. Let us know in the comments below. Subscribe. Check out the rest of the Social Club.